If you had this web page right here and you wanted to enter a message in this text box, how would you go about automating this with Cypress? Now, of course, the first thing that you would do is start and inspect this and see that it has an, okay, let's just put this one to the right. Yeah, and see that it has an ID of user message. And you would go in Cypress and say, okay, ci.visit and then ci.get. Let's just put there our ID and can we do type and then do test. And now if we run this, we modified the raster. Okay. And if we did everything correctly, we should see now the typing in. And it worked. Perfect. But what if I told you there's a way to make your life a little bit easier? I mean, I'm not saying that using the get or using the find or using the contains in Cypress is not good enough. It is perfect. It is ideal. It is super. I like it. But have you heard of the Cypress testing library? If you haven't, don't worry. This is a video about the Cypress testing library and what it offers us and how it can do our um, or how it can improve or take our query game to the next level. Now, using the Cypress testing library, you get access to new methods on new ways of finding elements. And these ones are mostly based from a user perspective. Let me show you what I mean. First things first, if we want to have the Cypress testing library, we need to do npm install, say, and save this as a dependency. Okay, let me just stop this one, and we're just going to install it. I'll pause the video until the installation is complete. Now the installation has been done, and I want to see that it has actually been installed. So I go to the package JSON and I have a look here and I have the testing library for Cypress. And before we can use it, we need to go to the commands.js and import it there. Now, what this will do is it will allow us to use all of the methods. Now, when we do ci dot, let's see, we can do find by, and we have a couple of different options, and we're going to explore a few of them in the video. So the first one, which I find really interesting and kind of matches the example that we took, is find by placeholder text. And why do I say I find it interesting? Well, with the Cypress testing library, you in this case, for example, we don't really need to go into the DOM. We can say click and type in the element that has a placeholder text, which is please enter your message. Okay, so let's do that. To please enter your message. Let's see if I did that correctly. Please enter your message. Okay, and let's do type and say raster test. We save this one and we need to start Cypress again. I'm going to run it again in Chrome, and we did changes again in the raster ci.js. And let's see if we did everything right. Yeah, it would have been good to actually clear since our previous part of the test also typed in there, but this also does the trick. So like I said, this placeholder allows you to interact with the DOM, interact with the page in a very user-oriented manner. And like you saw, and like I said, you didn't even need to go in the actual developer tools to get your locators. Now, let's have a look at some other methods of the testing library. But for that, I want to use a different site. So we have here form demo, which has a little bit more fields. So let's just do the following. Let me just change here the URL, and let's try and do and enter some data here in the name, in the email, and then just submit. So we can start with, okay, we have the placeholder, and let's do name. So I saw that it has there's a field that has a placeholder with name, and just type, yeah, we leave it at rest the test. And if we inspect a couple of other interesting um, methods, we have findByRole. Now, findByRole can be, let's say, a little bit tricky if you want, um, in the sense that findByRole actually refers to, let's say, the role of the element in the DOM, in this case button. So if I would like to click on this submit, there's a couple of ways that we can do this, but let's do it with findByRole. So I can just copy it from there, findByRole button, and I can just do submit, and let's see if this will work. No, because I copied the URL wrongly here. No problem, it happens. And as you can see, it did the submit. Don't believe me? Let's change this submit to something else, submit test, and rerun it. And we have no errors. So when you click submit, you see that you need to fill in also other fields. Now we saw two methods. Let's have a look at another one. One very interesting method is the possibility to interact via the alt text. It's really nice if you're doing accessibility testing and you want to make sure that you have elements on the page that have an alt value. Now here on this page, there's a lot of elements with an alt value. If I inspect this one, for example, this is the Lambda test logo. It has an image URL, and it should have, yeah, it has an alt of logo. So if we go here in our test and do ci dot find by alt text, and we say logo, I hope I put it correctly. Yeah, logo, and then click. Let me just change this submit to make it correctly. And now we rerun our test. You can see it actually clicked it. If you don't believe me, let's go a little bit back. Because now it cannot find the submit because it's clicked on Lambda test and it was redirected. Perfect. Now, these were only three of the methods which I wanted to show you. There is a lot more, and I'll post a link into the description, and also in the comments I'll explain what each of the methods that the Cypress testing library offers does and how you can use them. Now, I'm really curious, how would you use this? And which one do you think can change your element finding or your DOM interaction game forever? I see a couple of them, like the last one with the alt text, I find really useful because people usually neglect accessibility testing, and to be able to do end-to-end, also if you want in an accessibility from an accessibility perspective, is really a game changer. As always, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, and bye bye.